This one's for all the haters. So last week I made a video all about training my cats using classical conditioning. If you missed that video, you can click right over here to catch that. And since that time, there have been a few doubting Thomases. People essentially coming in and saying, you didn't actually train your cats. Now, a few of these were just jokes, people saying, you don't train cats, cats train you. And to a certain degree, that's actually true. But some of them were legitimate. Some of them actually thought that there was no training, it was just pure luck. So today, I want to dispel any doubt. In particular, there was one message that caught my attention because I thought it was the perfect encapsulation of this and was so kind. So here it is from Julie. I love this man. He's clearly brilliant, kind, and obsessed with his cats. The perfect man. However, I'm not convinced he trained them to that particular sound. I wish he'd made another sound first, before the demented frog-fish sound, to see if they were merely coming to the sound of his voice, as most cats will. Well, this gets to something very important in classical conditioning. Let me tell you about it. So let's say that I used a bell to train the cats instead of the demented frog-fish noise, and everything goes well, good, great, the cats come when they hear that bell tone. Now let's say that I buy a second bell, but this one has a slightly higher pitch. If I ring that bell and the cats respond to it by coming when called, then this is called generalization. Generalization is the idea that you can trigger the same response using a slightly different stimulus. So I could take this to an extreme if I wanted to, and I could buy multiple bells, all of different pitches, ring them all, give them the reward whenever they respond to it, and I could get my cats to respond to any bell tone. You're a weirdo. I could take this to an extreme on the opposite end as well. I could buy, let's say, 10 or 15 different bell types and have them respond to only one of them. And this is called discrimination. Essentially, you reward them only when they respond to the appropriate bell that you want them to and ignore them for all the other ones. And then they come to associate the reward with only that one pitch. Up to this point, I've only been engaging in reinforcement. I make the demented frog-fish noise, and then I reward the cats whenever they respond to it. But I could go in the opposite direction too. Let's say that in 10 years, I say to myself, that was a really bad idea to train the cats to respond to this demented frog-fish noise because I make it all the time, and now they just come whenever I make that noise, and it's really annoying, and I just want it to go away. Well, I could do that. And this is called extinction. Extinction is essentially untraining. So if I made the noise and then gave no response, no reward, the cats would eventually disassociate the noise with the reward, and then they would stop responding. So now you know a little bit more about classical conditioning, but the whole point of today's video is to prove to all the doubters that the cats are actually trained. So let's do that. All right, so I'm in the other room. I've got Bill right here behind me, just hanging out on the cat tree. Loki is over there eating, which might not be an ideal time to do this whole thing, but I guess that makes this all the more realistic. Anyway, I'm gonna go into this other room, into the office, and we're gonna try out a few things to see if we can get the cats to respond to the call. So we'll do this all in one take so that we're making this a legitimate operation. So right now, as I'm talking, the cats are not going to come into the room. They know enough, they have enough discrimination to know that my normal talking voice does not equal any sort of treat or prize or reward. So we're going to try 3 different things. We're going to do a general call to the cats. We're going to do a call that is similar to the original noise that I used, but is slightly different. And then we're going to use the original demented duckfish noise. And hopefully they respond to only that last one. I don't know. I would imagine they might respond to the second one because, I haven't done any work with them on discriminating between those noises. But we will find out. So let's see what kind of response we get. Let me move up here and let's get started. So this is the general noise. Let's start off with the general call. Let's do this one. Hey, cats. No response. Okay. Well, let's move on to the next one, which would be a noise that's similar. Soy. Soylent. Okay. No response to that one either. So let's do the final noise, which was the trained one, and see if we can get them down. Oi. Oi. A little late, Loki. But thanks for coming. Yeah, and there's a Bill. Hey, buds. Alright, so we did eventually get a little bit of a response. Whenever the cats do come to the call, I've been petting them to replace the reinforcement because I can't give them a treat, nor do I want to give them a treat every single time. I hope that you enjoyed the video. I feel like I learned a little bit from all of this. And I'm going to be doing another one in not too long about operant conditioning. So if you want to vote on what trick I teach them, you can click right up here to vote in that poll. We've already got a lot of good responses on the last video as well. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this, and until next time, I'm Micah. Think about it.